Welcome to Pine Thicket Philosophies, the non-podcast podcast where we do everything the podcast experts tell you not to do. If you are looking for a finely polished and professional podcast crew, well, folks, we ain't it. But if you want to virtually join a group of old outdoorsmen from southern Appalachia as we sit around the fire and talk about any one of our favorite topics, we'll pour a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, and enjoy. Hello guys, thanks for joining us today. In this episode we let Larry kind of give his rebuttal a little bit, but once again I'm still trying to figure out this box, this recording device, and I'm gonna have to break down and get the instructions out apparently. But first several minutes of it is kind of janky with the audio because we had to use the audio from the DSLR, which was a little ways away from some of us, but you can still understand what's being said and everything. At the end I finally realized what's going on, restart the audio recording, and then the video cuts out. So if you're watching the video, it's all just kind of janky, but I really wanted to piece this episode together because it really brings full circle the last couple of episodes that we had. So hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys.
Have you got another? That's a lemon pie.
Yeah.
What's a lemon pie is that about? Oh, crap.
Did you just break your chair?
Broke my chair, probably. Yep, broke my chair.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Move it to the other side.
Move to the other side, break that side.
Yeah, break the other side too.
Podcast, man. Broke, man.
Are we on?
Oh, mine's off. Oh, damn it.
I think we're on. Are we on? Are we on? We're on there.
We're on over there.
Oh, mine's
On over
off.
here.
Can you hear me now?
You just want to.
Well, the wind is at least kind of died down.
Huh?
I got you an idea,
All
Larry.
right, hang on.
Stand up. Set on it. Set straddle that arm and just let it hang up in your face like this.
Okay,
Like
so
a cobra looking at you.
Larry's just going to hold his microphone. Apparently, he's done broke his chair.
He's like a 80s professional gospel singer. Got his mic. Hey, hey, hey.
Do this number from the side. Go from the side.
Hold up. Hey, hold your pinky out. Makes it look a little better.
Well, my pinky's crooked, so it don't stick out very far. Both of them are.
Sounds like a personal problem.
That's another story.
That's what she said.
That's another story
That's what she
that,
said.
that y'all don't want to hear.
So this is the way the podcast always
This has
starts.
happened.
And sometimes I have to edit out like 45 minutes.
Did you go to UAH, Eli?
No, I went to Jacksonville State.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
My pinky being crooked. One of them, I can't remember which, happened at UAH. Playing intramural football.
Okay. So anyway,
Not very random.
I don't know what's going on.
Intramural football.
So JR is cooking, and we wanted to do a little whatever I'm trying to say. We wanted to talk.
Recordation?
Yeah, sure. We wanted to talk a little bit about.
Recordation.
I guess we're gonna give Larry a chance to do a rebuttal. So the backstory is. Do you want to give the backstory? I mean, because this was your hike. You Papa Smurf or Papa Bear this
Well,
to death.
Sure.
I did during the hike once. Say, how much fun we got, Papa Smurf?
So, oh yeah, sure. So, I've been reading a book called The Comfort Crisis. This book basically says we Americans are too comfortable. Everything's convenient. Everything's at our fingertips. So,
I don't disagree with that.
so this book is, the premise of this book is basically get out and do something hard.
Get outside of your comfort
Get
zone.
outside your comfort house. Do something that makes you scared with it. So one of the words he used in this book was misagi, which is a Japanese term for adventure. I think you've seen that definition. So I was looking for some personal misagi. So I want to make it very clear that none of you were forced into the misagi.
Oh, no. Mm-mm, no.
So-
But I also want to say that when this first started coming up a couple of years ago, when they were developing this trail, you said to me, we can now ride bicycles from Cloudland Canyon to the Tennessee River Wall.
We
We
did
will be
see-
able to before long. And I'm
Part
like,
of it, I would rather hike.
I was like, oh, dude, this will be awesome. So we were discussing riding bikes.
I agree with that.
Okay.
So, but my misagi was hiking,
Okay.
and I threw it out to the world.
He did throw it out to the world, let's do this trail. And when
And-
I first agreed,
And
I
all of
knew
a
it was
sudden,
hiking right off the bat.
and all of a sudden, I had like 8 people going. I'm like, oh, these people don't know what they're getting into. I don't know what I'm getting into.
I don't know if I want these people to go and see me struggle.
That's not exactly what I thought at the time. So the Misagi is, for those who don't know, a 35-mile hike that went from Trenton, Georgia to Chattanooga, Tennessee along the Clouds to Rivers Trail, which is a combination of multiple trails.
that have recently been tied together.
Yeah, that
what,
been
about 8
recently
months
tied
ago?
together. Yeah. They finally said, well, with Little Lake being the land preserve being the last one to allow people public access to it for a fee. So we started the hike. Everything was going almost good.
Now, let me say this. Go back, back to me thinking it was a bicycle. When I agreed, we were still riding bikes.
Oh, really?
And then, it was like a few texts later, it was the word hiking, popped up into the text. And I was like, uh-oh. But I still thought at the time, I've got time. I can train for this. I can get in shape. And so I talked to Larry, and I said, is it okay with you if I contact Crow, who's a friend of ours, from As the Crow Flies Hiking. Crow is his trail name. And he's a good friend of ours from Birmingham. And he's been on several camping trips and adventures and hiking and different things with us, kayaking. And he's the mastermind behind the Alabama Triple Crown, which Larry needs to do next year, which is the premise of that is it's supposed to be 3 of the toughest 20-mile hikes in Alabama, and you do them back to back to back.
3 days in a row.
3 days in a row. And I tried that last spring, and I failed miserably on mile 9 of day 1 when the restaurant that must not be named, food poisoning struck me and another lady on the trail with us. We had both had the same thing for supper we all met at that restaurant to eat, and she and I ordered the same thing. And I'm not going to say what the name of the restaurant is because it happens. But yeah, I was sick. I was really, really sick. So I called Crow, and Crow's like, let's go. And so then we'll go back to Larry. I just want to fill everybody in on how Crow and all of them got
Crow,
involved.
yeah. So, and of course, our local group were just in because they're bikers, and I sent to the biker group.
We're a little crazy.
We're
We
crazy.
do
We're
dumb
crazy.
stuff.
So, how long before? Was that like 4 or 5 months?
It was 2 months.
2 months?
Crow said it was at least 2 months
It was at
before
least
I
2.
called him.
I was thinking it was a little bit longer. Maybe it's 3 months before. Shorter time to train.
Yeah, time
But
to
the
train.
premise of Misagi is you may or may not be ready. It's got to scare you a little bit. You don't want to say, "Oh, this is easy." We don't want to be.
Don't want to plan it out.
Well, you want to play it out,
Yeah.
but you don't want to be like, "I know I can do this 100%."
Think it
You want to
through.
have some little bit of you that says, "I'm
Some
not sure I
question.
can complete this."
Yeah, right.
So we got started on the hike. We're going to get to the event as quickly as possible.
The event.
So we get to mile 2.5. We had some people struggle a little bit.
Had an asthma attack.
Has an asthma attack. Totally understand that. That was dealt with, and they were able to rejoin us at a later point during the hike.
Now, I had made clear beforehand that I had not, life had been crazy. We had some family matters with different things, illnesses and things, and I had not trained. So I was like, I'm here, I'm going to hike some of it, but I knew I was not going to hike all of it. So we had made plans to move my truck around throughout the day. I would skip a section, move my truck up, because Shanda, his wife, was doing support. So beforehand, I knew I wasn't going to hike all of it.
Right.
But I didn't really think 2 miles in that I would be having to go back and get people and move them 2 miles.
Right. Well, you know,
But it was asthma.
Yeah,
So,
it happens. No stress there, but it just happens. So we continue on. We get to mile. When did Matthew caught back up with us at Ascalon? We continue on. You picked back up on the trail that went to the Nickajack Trailhead, which is about 8 miles. From that point, we had a couple drop. We continued on there to Little Lake property. Everybody continued there. That had continued from the previous
And
point.
you were at like mile 23 there,
Yeah.
right? and I bragged on him.
Yeah.
Josh hung in there.
Josh hung
He
in
did
there.
them all consecutively, and as bad as I hate to, I've bragged on him.
Yeah. So then he makes it to mile 28,
27.2, somewhere around there.
27.2. We did have a visitor come by and say hi to y'all.
Yeah.
That was nice, I thought.
Gave the quitters a hard time.
Some encouragement at that point.
Yeah.
I thought that was
That was awesome.
that was so nice. That's my favorite part of the trip.
Of course, you know, I hung back during all that quitter talk, like, I ain't letting them know I'm quitting.
So again, we continue on. There's 5 of us moved on from that point.
You,
Yes.
Crow, Leonidas,
Matthew,
Matthew,
Wilson.
and
Look,
Wilson.
yeah. So 5 of us move on. The next section is supposed to be 6 miles. It turned out, I believe it's more like 8. It was a long hike, downhill, but then it was just rollers. We started seeing some people struggle, and I was feeling tired, but I didn't feel bad. I mean, what, we're 30 something miles.
Yeah,
at
you
this
was going
point.
to
Actually,
tired.
the Crows said 36.78.
Yeah, his was even longer. So we get to the Ruby Falls parking lot, which is our last aid, like a mile and a half from what we were going to call the official finish. Wilson was not feeling like going on. I think he had some water issues. So his dad, Matthew, was not going to go on, which I think was the right call.
Oh, yeah.
Don't leave your kid.
Right. For the record, I do believe Matthew could finish.
Oh yeah, definitely. He
yeah.
would have finished.
He could have.
Yeah, he could have. But as a dad, I'm not leaving my kid.
Right.
And he's feeling that
He
bad.
made the right call.
Yeah.
Even though he left him on the trail at the first when he had to go back with the other guy.
Now that was different. He wasn't.
Because everybody was fresh and he was
Wilson
hating
was not
somebody,
in.
and he wasn't in
He
no
wasn't
stress.
tired at that point. But yeah, that was. 2 people need to go back
Yeah,
with that person. that
just
was
in
struggling.
case.
So that was cool. So we're at Ruby Falls. We're about to take the picture for the last 3.
Well, I
to
thought
go.
she actually did take the picture.
She did take the
before.
picture.
At each aid station, which the furthest you guys had to walk was, well, 6 miles, but like you said, I think that last one was closer to 8.
It was all.
It was getting tired. It was like, is this ever going to end?
At each aid station, right before the group would leave, Shanda would take a picture of who was going, just to document who had fallen out and who was still going.
Who didn't make it to the next aid station?
Right, right. So
Okay, I had, before we had taken the picture, while everybody was getting refreshing their waters and stuff, I had started feeling a little nausea. So I'd stepped to the front of the vehicle and was trying to settle my stomach. I better sit down for a minute. So I sat down in the vehicle, talked to Brad about some things, and thought my nausea and dizziness had passed. Let's go. So I walk out and we're waiting on Crow and Leonidas. I so struggled with that name. You heard of
I don't know what his real name is.
Jonathan?
I believe. Jonathan.
Jonathan.
So that's his nickname.
Yeah, that's a big
Leonidas is
name.
trail
Trail
name.
name. Okay, right. Yeah.
So I get up there and I'm feeling okay when I'm standing there during the picture until I don't. So I reached up and put my hand on Crow's shoulder because I knew I was fixing to do something. And Crow had learned that I am a little bit of a prankster and sometimes just harass people. It's hard to believe, But I put my hand on his, I kind of squeezed a little bit, but I knew I was going down. So I was like, that was my, hey,
Catch me.
catch me, I'm fixing to fall. He didn't catch me.
No,
He tried though.
He tried.
but he didn't. He thought you was. He turned
Yeah,
because he
thought I
thought
was-
you was fixing to whisper something in
Yeah,
his ear.
yeah, it's not his
Yeah.
fault. Crow, it's not your fault. I'm not mad at you in any form or fashion. I'm gonna give you a hard time for ratting me out, but I'm not mad at you. Nothing personal. So I put my hand on his shoulder and felt myself go down. And I could feel I felt the whole fall. Like I'm protecting my head because I'm on pavement. I don't want to hit my head. No, fall backwards. I hit my elbow. It's still sore. It's 3 weeks now. 2 weeks.
Two.
Three.
Sure, yeah.
2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks? Okay, that's legitimate why it's still sore.
Yeah.
So, after I hit the ground, these gentlemen were nice enough to rush to my aid.
Well,
Come on.
now, first, let me say, I was strapping everything down on the back, and the last thing I was strapping down was I don't remember if it was a water cooler. Had already strapped one of them down, because we had totes on the back of his car
On the rack, yeah.
that had to be strapped down, that had people's extra gear in there, and then we had a big water cooler. And I was strapping one of them down and almost had it tight. And when he started to fall, I took off, and then I realized, oh, there's 5 people between me and him. One of them will, and I thought, if I leave this, it's going to end up splattered all over the road because we will not think. So I tightened it back down, and then I rushed to his aid.
Yeah, so they were there because I woke up and Josh.
Face to face. Look at me. How you feeling?
I was like, "Where's my wife?"
She was
Josh.
She was standing there on the phone.
Yeah,
talking
she
to
called
her.
my son, who's
She's
an
talking to
EMT and a
Brad.
firefighter.
Well, listen, I had my phone out fixing to call 911. I didn't think about Brett. I mean, it was
Yeah,
that it was that startling.
Yeah.
well, Brett was nowhere near available to help.
Well, yeah, but
She gave him. He gave some.
yeah, he told us what to do.
Yeah,
Said, well,
so
how's he feeling? And she told him everything.
Yeah.
He said, well, it's probably just this.
So I hit the ground, came back to, in my world, I came back to. I did realize that I was soaked in sweat at that point. Like, immediately I was
Yeah.
covered in sweat.
Within 30 seconds, he went from dry skin to beads
water.
of sweat.
Just
all
dripping
over.
Pouring off
Running.
of me. So, what's on my mind?
Finishing.
I gotta finish. So when they get me up, sitting up, not up on my feet, I'm arguing. I'm
Talking about finishing.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
stating that I'm going to finish this hike.
going to finish. And then we were like, and then before we could disagree with him, he passes back out
Yeah.
again.
You see, I don't remember
Take another
any
quick
others
nap,
passing out. I remember the one.
And then, well, you did it You came
twice,
twice,
no.
and the second time you were like arguing with us, like, "No, I'm finishing," and we were like, "No, you're not," and then you're out again.
Out again.
And that's when Crow and Leonidas stopped their watch. Said, "We're done. We're not. You know, we're all done."
But I have no recollection of that, so my mind, at that point, I could have finished.
They called it for you, right?
Until I got up, and I went, oh,
I ain't gonna
I
make
ain't
it.
gonna finish.
I don't even know if I can make it to the car.
Which was about from me to Josh.
Yeah, it wasn't far. Well, then, like, just you getting out of the car when we stopped to eat.
Well, I was nervous
It
then.
was a struggle. That's why I stayed out there with y'all to
Yeah,
just make
so-
sure you got in.
Had we not had the group with us, Larry would have went to Pisgah. But we need the seats. No, I ain't gonna keep people from going to eat and stuff. So I ate a couple of bites.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was weird. The odd thing is, by the time I went to bed that night, 3 hours later, I didn't feel bad at all.
I guess everything.
Yeah, I guess I got
Started
enough fluids in me
regulating
and electrolyte. I drank sweet tea.
And, well,
I
you
never
wouldn't
did sweet.
exert yourself no more either, so that way your body could replenish itself.
So we were on the trail 14 hours, 11 hours and a half moving.
I'll put in. I've got a picture of Crow's. Crow took a picture of his watch.
Based on Matthew's Strava data, we were moving at 25 minutes per mile elapsed time, 20 minutes per mile moving time. So I did the math. 5 minutes extra per mile is 3 hours. Long makes the trip 3 hours longer.
Wow.
So I think just that much time elapsing. I mean, I had to be my electrolytes,
Had to be.
not keeping up. I eat like a horse all day.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
y'all-
I
y'all did
had
a
to
really
be
good
that.
job of, I think all of you did a good job of, well, with exception, most of you did a really good job of hydrating.
Oh, yeah, I would drink
mean, you were all pulling up and filling up your water bottle and everything, and you did a really good job of staying on track. And when I say that, I mean you didn't pull up at a rest at an aid station and sit. You know, you all kept moving, you kept stretching.
Oh yeah, I
you
had
kept,
to.
you know, and nobody just walked up and plopped down on the ground. You know.
So it was I wasn't sure if I was going to make it when I started. I had confidence in myself. I had done some training, not as much as I should have, but I had done some races and stuff. But yeah, it was frustrating, to say the least.
Yeah,
It was
no doubt.
frustrating. I was mad Sunday, like mad at myself.
Yeah.
So I did do 6 miles Sunday after. And then I carried my 35-pound kettlebell, did our farmer's walk for a mile after the 6 miles, just to torture myself. And my wife goes, "Are you sore?" Man, it was weird. I was not sore.
Well, I was.
I don't know why I wasn't sore.
Maybe the fall jarred it out of you.
Yeah, it's
Just knocked all the soreness out of your
pretty all
body.
in my elbow.
Yeah.
How much did you have left on the trail?
Probably about a mile and a half.
Wow.
I don't.
Because the 2 mile was
Yeah.
just, we passed the 2 mile marker. Right
Well, see,
before we
Crow
got-
and Leonidas both said that they thought it was about a mile back.
It wasn't a mile back.
They thought it was closer to a mile.
It may have been, but it was, the way we were going, it was just, I was estimating just over a mile to finish. That's why I was arguing with y'all. Y'all should have let me finish. Now I have to go back and hike 35 miles.
Yeah, well, that was my next thing I was.
Even
gonna
after
talk
me resting, I wouldn't have even walked that mile. Like, I wouldn't have done it.
about. That's what I was about to ask about, because you know Matthew had said that when y'all were driving to Cracker Barrel, you were like, "Oh, we got to do a redemption hike this fall." Well, Crow's already said. Crow told me, he said, "You just let me know the date." I mean,
I'm going to finish that trail or that mileage. One of the two.
I think it would be awesome to go back and do that trail again.
I was a little disappointed in the scenery of the trail.
Well, I mean, there can't be waterfalls and
Carrots everywhere.
yeah. I mean, it can't be.
It could be.
Can't be beautiful everywhere.
I thought it was pretty awesome.
It was pretty nice.
I mean, the first 3 miles is.
Of course, we didn't get to see the best scenery because
Right.
it was dark when we hiked
Well,
up.
to me, the best scenery past that was from Covenant down to
Down.
Ruby Falls by the bluff.
And I really wanted to hike that section, and I almost set one of the other ones out just to make sure I hiked that section. But then in my mind, I thought, but if I stop now and set one out, I don't know if I'll start back, so I'm just going to continue on until I'm just done. And I know you was mad because you didn't finish, but even though I quit at Covenant College, I was like, hey, I'm fine. I'm happy.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but that was only the second time ever that you've really done a hiking trip.
hike.
You know, you've done, Cumberland Island. We did, 20 miles in 2 days?
Yeah.
Something like that. And then
Other than that, I've just done like a
the Pinnacle.
Pinnacle, and we done that little hike when we went to get our boats at
Linville Falls.
Linville Falls. Yeah, it wasn't
That was a mile.
maybe a
each way.
mile, and we took our time.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, I've really never hiked.
So to jump out there the first time and do 27.2 miles without stopping,
And I think that's why I'm just like, I'm good. I feel like I've accomplished something, so I'm not upset I didn't finish. But I kind of would like to go back and do it.
Yeah, we need to finish it.
I even told my wife, I said, even if I just go to Covenant and finish it from Covenant,
I guess we'll have to use the audio off that because this thing stopped at 10 minutes. So that means it probably didn't pick anything up. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong because
You set
it's,
the timer.
well, there's not a timer.
You set the timer.
There's not a timer. When you hit record, it starts recording, but then it goes to 10
Well,
minutes.
did
and
it
then,
stop earlier on the 45
no, the last
minutes?
time it didn't, and I did exactly the same thing. So this is so annoying. Let's see.
It just likes being difficult.
Well, it says it's recording now. I don't know. I don't know if we'll get anything. But
All I know is we're doing it again.
the trail?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant. I didn't know if you meant the trail or the podcast.
I'm
Since
not
this
doing
thing
the
had shut up.
podcast again. I forgot what I said. This fall, I am doing a challenge. 40 miles biking, 12 miles kayaking, and a half marathon in one day.
Ooh, in one day? Ooh.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, so come on.
I'm out.
I can't commit to nothing right now because I know that probably in another month I'll be at work a lot. That's my only hitch, is work.
That's your normal excuse. I'm working.
Yeah, because they love for me to be there, I
I'm
reckon.
working.
They love for me to be there.
You need to do the 50-50-50 challenge.
I'm going to. Of course, it's going to be 56, 56, 56 for me.
That is
Yeah,
something that Crow and
we
one
were
of his,
supposed to have done that.
Yeah, well, we're still 50.
Yeah, that's
But-
true.
Anyway, a friend of ours, Crow, and one of his friends came up with a challenge. When you're 50 years old, hike 50 miles, bike 50 miles, and kayak 50 miles in 3 consecutive days.
Well,
Well, now they're saying
no,
it doesn't have to be
you
3
just do it consecutive. Like it might take you 4 days or 5 days, whatever it
Yeah.
takes.
Do you
Yeah.
stretch it out?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
you
you
don't
can
just
do
do
your
one
whole
day.
biking in one day.
Yeah, right.
That's no
It's
problem
the
to do your biking.
kayaking. It
Yeah,
really,
The kayaking takes a while.
Yeah, 5 days, 5 consecutive. I said 3.
And
I
then
was thinking of the.
the hiking can take a couple of days.
But
Unless you do like we do and do 35 of them in one.
but yeah, he.
we're going to do it. I'm going to do it. Dadgummit.
And of course, depending on where you do it at makes a difference. Because
Well, yeah, that's probably, there's a little elevation.
this trail that we done, it was up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah, but the trail was smooth, generally.
Except for, was it the Lula Lake that was so
Yeah,
rough?
that
Now
was
that one,
You would
But-
not want to mountain bike that.
But generally, it's smooth.
yeah, generally most of it was nice.
Because if you go do the West Rim Trail at Cloudland, you'll be like, oh, that ain't smooth at all.
Yeah, the Lula Lake, it was probably the roughest one. And a lot of roots, rocks, narrow sections. It was like I could fall in this creek that's 10 foot down there through brush.
I mean, the section from Covenant down to the truck trail, it's pretty rough, but it's
Yeah,
doable.
I think Crow said there's a bunch of rock steps that you had to
they-
step
they
off
built
of,
steps down through there.
and said that some of them was kind of big.
But it's not, I've hiked worse, but
Yeah.
not 35 miles worse.
Yeah. I'm still, though. That's, for me to do 27 miles,
That's really good.
then I think the Tuesday after, I was finally, my legs was pretty much just little tender spots. I wouldn't just like sit down for 5 minutes and have to walk slow for 10 after I get back up. I was
Right.
over that.
Misagi. Look for your Misagi.
Misagi.
Soggy.
Kind of like Mr. Miyagi.
I was about to say that. I almost called him Miyagi earlier. I forgot what it was called.
Miyagi.
All right, guys. So,
All right.
you got anything else you want to add, Larry?
No.
No?
It's pretty inspirational, though. I want to.
You want to do one now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I
That
mean,
inspired me.
it's a great concept.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone, whether it be a marathon or
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
even a half marathon. Some people, a half marathon might be the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it might be a 5K. Some people.
Mm-hmm.
See, and like I done 27 miles. A marathon is 26
Mm-hmm.
something. So I,
Yeah.
I basically hiked what a marathon would be.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
And a guy that me and Brad went to school with, he had just run the Berlin. No, he run the London Marathon.
London.
He had
So
just finished the London
Of
Marathon.
the 5 big worldwide marathons, Tokyo's the only
Tokyo's the
one he likes.
only one he likes.
Shout out to John Lida. He's a friend of ours that he's a
He's become a marathon runner.
yeah, he's a marathon runner now. He we graduated high school with John, and a good friend of ours, and he is a city council member in Hoover, Alabama
yeah.
now. So, well, all right.
All right.
You got anything? You got anything to add?
No, I don't. I mean, like I said, it was very inspirational. I mean, I want to get out of my comfort zone now and
Read
actually.
the book.
I mean, it
Comfort
teaches
Zone.
you to live life. I mean, make the most of it and
Mm-hmm.
don't settle.
It makes me want to hike more
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it, even though I struggled at points. I do want to hike more though.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's. I like hiking too. It's one of my passions, but it's one of those things that challenges you to make you think. Like
Oh yeah.
it's teaches you how to really love hiking. Like seriously.
And I had the mindset going in, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to
Yeah.
gripe.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
when we went to Cumberland Island, I belly ached a lot.
Yeah, that was a good thing about the group. Nobody complained.
In my eyes, I didn't have a reason to complain because I didn't have 40 to 50
Yeah.
pounds of crap on my back. I was at least 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah, even
And-
when one of the guys he started hurting.
Yeah.
When he got Nickajack, he was like, "I'm getting
I'm
there and
done."
done." But he never really complained. He just, "I'm done at this
Yeah.
point."
I think it was Chris, wasn't it? His knee was
Yeah.
killing him.
Yeah, he was one that wanted to throat punch Matthew.
He throat punched
He
Matthew.
wanted to.
I wanted to because he drug him in on it.
Well, because he thought he had something to do with our encouragement at Covenant.
Oh. About the quitters.
Yeah.
I've talked to him at work
Yeah.
since then. Matthew come by one day and talked to me, and we've talked about it some. And
That's right. You worked with all 3 of them.
yeah,
didn't
they
you?
all 3 work there,
Chris, Drew.
and Matthew
And
all work
Matthew
there.
all
They
work
work in. I don't know if it's really purchasing, but they're part of the ones that order.
They're buyers, I think.
Yeah, they're buyers. They order our parts and stuff, our purchase parts. So, which Chris, he's the actual purchaser for my line, I reckon. And then Matthew and Drew, they're on another line.
Cool. Well, all right, guys. We've had I don't know, we may have to piece this together. We've had all kinds of
Technical issues.
well, this thing, I do the same thing, and sometimes it goes to 10 minutes and stops, and then sometimes I can start it and it picks it up and does what it's supposed to, and then sometimes I won't have anything. So I don't know. I maybe if I got the instructions out and ready.
Instructions. So that you don't
Quick
set
little
the
read-through.
timer
But
inadvertently.
don't tell your wife you had to get the instructions out.
She cares nothing about this, so that
She'd
wouldn't
probably
matter.
give you a hard time. You didn't ever read the instructions.
She would just be like, whatever about this stuff. But and then the camera goes to 30 minutes and then shuts off. So we may have
need
a
a timer on the
hodgepodge.
wall so we can kind of
Digital
Keep up with
timer.
so we can keep track of where we're at.
Okay. I thought we were right here. Oh, you mean like a timer wise?
Yeah, timer,
Yeah.
so we know how
So we
long.
know how
Long
far
it's
we are into the
passed.
thing.
Yeah.
We need a 10-minute timer so we can keep check on that, and a 30-minute timer for the camera.
Well, we could just set our phones.
Yeah.
What I would love to have
It'd be
is
good,
for
Kevin.
all of you to have headphones like this, so because you can hear. I can hear y'all so much better, and it's so much simpler to set up than these.
Well, that's true.
Larry breaking his chair.
What we witnessed over there.
I can't find anything to attach my
Boom.
Billy Bob to.
It's Dilly Bob.
He just wanted to look like a 80s rock singer or country singer or something.
No hair, I can't.
Phil Collins. What a look.
Mm.
Well, if that Skeeter hadn't hit me in the eye through the glasses,
He's going to give you the real stink eye, but that Skeeter stopped him.
All right, guys. If we don't have anything else, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up and go see if Mr. Poe needs some help. And
he's cutting up some groceries over
yeah,
there.
he
it
is,
looks
and
like.
they're steaming. They look nice and hot. So anyway, this will be, I don't know, another episode.
Whatever.
Yeah, another episode. But get out there and find your own adventure, or Masagi, because even bad adventures make great stories. Talk to you later, guys.
Buttered sausage.
All right, folks, thanks for tuning in for this episode of Pine Thicket Philosophies. Tune in next time as we continue to live by our motto, even bad adventures make great stories.